Hi, and welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner as we talk Ponca City High School football. As we wind down the month of September, hard to believe we are a third of the way through the high school football season. That first third of the season, sometimes it's the hardest third because they're important games, but they're not as important as the next 7 games coming up, including this week when the Wildcats take on the Stillwater Pioneers in Stillwater. And Coach, really everybody goes back to the old adage, and I know you're going to use that with your team. Everybody is 0-0 no matter what their record is, because if you're 2 up or 2 down, the last 7 games are going to be awfully difficult if you don't keep that all in perspective.
Oh yeah. I mean, it gives us something to play for, even though you're right. First 3 games, haven't gone to how we planned, at least on the scoreboard. So. Yeah, this gives you some life and gives some energy to now we're in district play. Now we're competing for a playoff berth. Every game really does mean something, and it makes it a little more fun for the guys.
I've done this a long time, and I know district schedules, where teams show up on your district schedule, it has a lot to do with it. And for instance, if you were playing a Union or an Owasso this week, I really think that would be bad timing. But a young team has had their share of mistakes, has had some success. They get a team that is also young, has had their share of mistakes and success in Stillwater. I really think if you could have handpicked one team to play on your schedule this Friday, you might have picked Stillwater Pioneers.
Yeah, Phil, you said it better. I couldn't agree with you more on that from that whole thing you just said there. We Stillwater, being the first first younger team we played, that is exactly, you're right. We don't want to play Owasso or Union right now this week. Mm-hmm. I mean, we need to, play a team like Stillwater where they're also 0-3. They're vulnerable at some spots, and yeah, you're right. They're searching for some confidence. They're searching for some things too, and we just. They haven't had that taste of that first win yet either, and you're right. And some of our matchups are more equal. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think this is a good position to be in week 4.
And the other part of it is that the Stillwater game means so much to our players and to our fans that sometimes teams are 0-3 and coaches are searching what direction to go. I have a feeling you're going to get a great effort in practice this week, and we're going to show up ready to go just because it is the Stillwater Ponca City rivalry.
Yeah, it's just down the street, 40 minutes. Yeah, these kids have probably played each other in Little League and other school, middle school sports, and yeah, they're gonna, they're gonna be ready to go for this one. You're right. It's rivalry games also help out in this situation too. Not only district play, but it is a rivalry. So you're right. There should be, getting up for practice, getting up for this game shouldn't be too difficult.
People will talk about our first 3 games, and people say, "Well, you're 0-3." But here's the thing: those boys now, Coach, have 12 quarters of football action, and most of them, in fact, all of them. It's probably the first 12 meaningful quarters they've played of high school football, with the exception of 1 or 2 players. So now they've got those 12 quarters down, Coach. You've got some experience. They kind of understand some of the things better that you're talking to them about. The best thing about a young team is that now we're almost halfway through the football season. You have to feel like when you head into these next few games, from a coaching and technique standpoint, these guys are going to be much, much better at understanding what you're trying to do.
Absolutely, you're right. I mean, yeah, the guy, you're exactly. I mean, as far as each game, we should feel more comfortable. Most of these guys, it's been their first starts, their first 12 quarters, and they should start to, you're right, gain that experience. And experience is valuable in sports, especially football, where you have to know what to do and have to have gone through something before to be able to execute or to be able to know what to expect. And these guys have gone through 12 quarters, and you're right, we should see improvement in some areas just based on that fact you just said.
you know, when you look at our offense, Coach, there are times when our little passing game really clicks. Mongold has hit over 50% of his passes. He's not keying in on one guy. I think 10 or 11 guys have caught passes so far. So you have to feel like, even though we haven't had a running game like you would like, that we have the ability at any time to take the ball and move it.
Absolutely. I'm really pleased. Really pleased. Talk about the Shawnee game. Michael had 2 interceptions that, obviously we would like to have. That slant throw, that was coaching staff. We should have. Michael was just doing what the play was designed to do as far as, and so that was not his fault on that slant. The other 2 though, he could have done a little better on. Other than that, you're right. He threw for over 250 yards. Was 23 for 33. And is right. We're up to 10 or 11 people who have caught footballs, probably 5 or 6 guys that are approaching 7+ catches. Raylan Gaines, in particular, is up to already 15 catches I think already close to 200 yards. So there are some bright spots there. You're right. Running games help, especially when you get in the red zone area. You would like to have a running game, but we will improve on that. If we have to pass it, we'll be more selective with our passes. The coaching staff will prepare better for those decisions in the red zone and what type of passes we do. If we have to pass it, we'd like to run it. But we work really hard in our passing game. We want that to be a future a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, I want to run the ball, and we will run the ball here. But part of our plan in the future is to have a top-notch passing game, to be able to pass the ball. And we're already working. I mean, you're already seeing that. A little bit right now.
One of the things about this team that, and I'm sure it's frustrating because Shawnee was a perfect example. Boy, you have good play, good play, good play. It seems like our mistakes have been disastrous, where the other teams maybe are an incomplete pass or a fumble out of bounds, but we had several opportunities to score against Shawnee, and that's, again, some of the growing pains, but we would get the ball downfield and make good catches, blocking would hold up, good passes, and then we just couldn't finish off drives. And after a while, I mean, it has to affect, obviously, how the game goes in the second half. One of the things you got to work on.
Oh, yeah, we're going to work hard on that this week. It's not like we haven't been working on it, but don't worry, we are going to focus more on that. Again, I mean, if a running game solves a lot of those problems, but even better, there should have been, as a coaching staff, we should have had some better play selection to help our quarterback when we did decide to pass it down there. So we will be a little more organized, a little more prepared, and we will drill that a little more in practice, obviously, this week in the red zone. Because you're right. I mean, we gave up 21. I mean, we moved up and down the field. There were 3 times we're inside their 20 and don't score. 2 or 3 times, another 2 or 3 times we're inside their 10 and don't score. So, we've got to solve those problems. Those will eat on you as coaches, and they are right now. So, we love, we can't get them back, but we got to get better at the red zone, and that'll be a focus, because we left at least 3 touchdowns off, 3 touchdown opportunities on the field the other night. So, and that could have changed the game a lot. Especially if you come out and score that right out that opening third quarter.
Right.
That's football's a game of momentum. We got deflated when we threw that interception, and they got inflated. And what I'm saying, point is, if we go down and score there, who knows where the energy level goes. Thought our defense did a great job second half. Only gave up 1 touchdown, and improved on it. Shawnee still left their same players in there most of the game, and our defense did much better than they did the first half.
Well, it's 14-0 game with 5 minutes to go in the first half, and you're going to get the ball to start the second half. Let's talk to our viewers about the Stillwater game. Stillwater's 0-3, Ponca's 0-3. It's 7 o'clock on Friday night, but Stillwater had a good ball club last year. They have a few returning players, an excellent wide receiver. Tell our viewers about some of the Pioneers. Yeah,
the Pioneers, they are, like you said, a team that was pretty young last year. They had some seniors last year, but they were pretty young. They had some sophomores that played for them last year that are now got a year under their belt, and a lot of juniors and sophomores, they even playing for them this year. Quarterbacks returning, young guy, junior, and you know, their skill on offense is very impressive. This will be one of the better. This will be a big test for our defense this week. Defensively, they're fast. They're outside of Guthrie. They're quicker than Sepulpa or Shawnee, at least in speed and athleticism. I think they're better. Size-wise, they're not quite as big as Shawnee or Guthrie, but they're very fast. And you know, again, going to continue to work on our run game because it would help out a lot because they're going to play a 3-4. There's going to be a lot of guys, you know, a lot of people back in the back end. So that would help out if we could get that established. But you know, we'll continue to work on, you know, our passing game will continue to get better. We are getting better at that. So you know, defense has a big test. You know, again, I think we are getting better in some areas defensively as well, and this will definitely test them. Stillwater is more of a you know, they are balanced, but they like to you know, they kind of look like us a little bit in formations, and they'll throw the ball quite a bit, and their times are very effective. So you're going to see a modern spread offense, but can run the ball, you know, but they're going to throw it and do a lot of that other stuff too.
Coach, what a great crowd we got on Friday down in Shawnee. I mean, we have a lot of folks, and I know that you and the players need that support this coming week too.
Absolutely, come on down. Like I said, we're a young team getting better. You know, we're going to put it all together one of these games, and you know, it'd be great to have your support at this game, rivalry game, opening district game, and yeah, guys would we all would appreciate it. But we do thank you for the support we are getting. So
very good. 7 o'clock on Friday night, the beautiful new Stillwater Stadium. We can go into town right there, enjoy the game from that great stadium, and hopefully win #1 for Ponca City on Friday night. Coach Allen, Phil Turney, have a great week.